welcome back to Bourbon Ron-Dezvous. I'm Ron. In this episode, we're going to be drinking some, well, it's bourbon. And it's fighting. So let's give it a pour. So here we go with tonight's episode with the Fighting Cock at 103 proof. This is the one that everybody giggles about, the immature giggling of fighting, you know. But we're gonna go ahead and give this a try. Pop this sucker open. And look at that cork pot. Oh, it's a twist cap. And you expect a twist cap because this bottle sells for under $20. This is the first time I'm opening this up. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've heard that it's a lot of people's daily sipper because it's inexpensive, but it's going to have a pretty strong showing to compete with the likes of, say, an Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, or even, say, a Russell's, 10-year, $30 bottle, somewhere in there. Let's go ahead and give it a pour. Oh, I swirl this up. Now, here's the deal. Fighting Cock doesn't actually say this on here anywhere, but it's actually a Heaven Hill product. And at one point in time, it was age stated to be 6 years old. It's probably not that old anymore. They did change the labeling to go to straight bourbon whiskey. Straight bourbon whiskey, we're gonna say then it's at least 4 years old, but it's not age stated anymore, so that's as close as we can really get to it. I'm kind of expecting that we'll taste some of the oakiness and youthful bourbon flavors that we're used to seeing in these younger bourbon whiskeys. I don't see a lot of viscosity. It doesn't look real oily in the glass. Honestly, I'm not picking up a whole lot of strong pleasing nose on this. Yeah, the smell is okay. So there's some. Once you blow that top level of ethanol off, I am picking up. It's very signature Heaven Hill in that I'm getting some nuts and I'm getting some honey and some of those smells. But not a whole lot of depth in the nose that I'm getting on this. So, as you can see, it has a good color to it. Let's give it a taste and see what happens.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
103 proof. Does not drink particularly 103 proof. It's fairly easy to drink. It is a little bit youthful as far as the flavors, but the palate is kind of growing. I'm picking up a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of mustiness, not too bad. Certainly nothing like a Garrison Brothers mustiness, but just a little tiny bit of mustiness.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Getting that, like, maybe some honey. Let's try again. Here's the thing. I'm not picking up anything bad in this bourbon. It is very, I don't know, for lack of a better term, down the middle. It's neither Heaven Hill nor Buffalo Trace. It is made by Heaven Hill, but I'm not even really picking up the traditional flavors that you would get with a Heaven Hill. I suspect at 103 proof and this flavor, this would probably make for some outstanding cocktails where the bourbon flavor was not the featured flavor. Can't really think anything that comes to mind right now. Maybe a whiskey sour, something of that nature. Certainly not a Manhattan. I don't think that this would be particularly good in a Manhattan or an old fashioned, where that bourbon flavor is super, super important to come through really strong. Speaking of which, recently ate at Capitol Grill and had one of their drinks, one of their cocktails, which was called an In Fashion. That was one of the best cocktails I've ever tasted, even though it was made with Russell's 10 Year, which I love that bourbon by itself. But you put that with the, I guess they put it with Grand Marnier, and they put it with black walnut bitters, and then an ice sphere that was flavored with orange or something like that. Anyway, it was fantastic, and so props go out to them. But what I'm thinking on this one right here, as far as cocktail goes, this would have to be something like a bourbon smash maybe, or a whiskey sour, something where that bourbon taste is kind of secondary to some of the other sweet flavors that are going on. But I don't think that it's going to be the leading man in this particular role. 103 proof, 6 years, super inexpensive, super accessible. So what I have to say is I'll probably drink this bottle. I'll enjoy this bottle. I will probably mix with this bottle. A bourbon and Coke with this probably wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings. It would actually probably taste pretty well. The Coke wouldn't be too overpowering, and the bourbon wouldn't be too overpowering to the Coke. And so you could make this actually fairly strong with the Coke, you know, maybe a 60-40 mix as far as the bourbon to Coke. I don't know if I'd go that strong, but and you could get away with that, and it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't choke anybody out or anything. Gotta say, overall, I like it. It just has a very neutral flavor, which I would not expect from Heaven Hill, and that may be just a product of the fact that it's just a younger bourbon. Once again, this is Fighting Cock Bourbon, and it's straight bourbon whiskey. If you get a chance to pick it up, I would recommend you do so. And as I always like to say when I'm signing off on an episode, it's not only about the bourbon that's in the glass, but who you're sharing it with. Cheers.
My name's Mike the Cat, and I approve this message.